Hello, everybody. We're trying something new today. We're finally getting our YouTube going, and we're doing it with everybody's favorite segment, not just mine. Story Story Sudds Story. I'd like to thank everybody for their comments on social media and their suggestions for a better name. We ignored those because nothing is better than Story Story Sudds Story as a name for a segment. Anyway, if you weren't around the first time, here's what we do. I will be reading out a story to Mike, and he has to decide whether it is an actual story that I found in the news or it's a story that I made up in my crazy little fucked up brain. So anyway, Mike, you ready for round two? We at round one ended in a which I apologize again for. This time there are 7 stories, so that will not happen again. Mike, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Not confident. I'm feeling good because of my Scotch, by the way, not anything to do with the game or what's been happening so far today. But no, I'm good to go. I got in my own head week one, and we ended up tying after I stormed out to, I think, a 4-0 or a 3-1 lead. So looking to not let that happen again. I'm not going to get in my own head, and I'm just going to take the facts for what they are and come away with a W.
I'm doing the math quickly in my head, but because there's only 7 stories, if you do go out to a 4-0 lead, then you're fine.
Right. Yeah.
But maybe you should do what you did last week.
Yeah. So true. So maybe if I start with that 4-0 lead, I'll be in a better spot. Jimmy finally got his shit together and made this segment that made sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Jimmy not having his shit together for a really long time makes a lot of sense as well. Don't know what I'm going to do with that kid, but it's not going to be pleasant. Anyway, moving on to the positive side of things, I think we should just get this started. You ready to go?
I'm good to go.
Junior league softball game in South Korea.
I'm having a lot of trouble hearing you.
Okay.
I don't know if that's because of the music.
The music is kind of loud, yeah.
Okay, go now.
Glad we're not doing this live. So the first story is from the world of softball. A junior league softball game in South Korea had to be postponed after a player had a severe allergic reaction on the diamond after being bitten by a moth.
Bitten by a moth. What country is this in again?
South Korea.
Okay. Probably not a lot of softball games in North Korea, or at least that we hear about. Old are the kids?
It was junior league. I would say they were around between 16 and 19 kind of thing. It wasn't a professional game, but it was professional kind of thing.
Okay, I'm gonna say this is definitely a Sudds story.
This is in fact a Sudds story.
Yes.
Well played. It is false. I made that shit up. Moving on to another sport I know you're very familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
From the world of fishing, a 13-year-old boy set a record for the largest sunfish ever caught, and he beat the record that was set last year by his father.
Where do they live?
In the States, Midwest, I want to say Michigan, Illinois, maybe. I can't remember.
Is Michigan in the Midwest?
No. No, it's not.
I'm gonna say it's a Sudds story.
You are saying this is a Sudds story, and this is in fact a story.
Damn it.
One. Yeah, that was a true story. 13-year-old boy, and yeah, he one-upped it by an ounce. Very funny. Anyway, next story is from Olympic basketball. The first question one of the U.S. Olympic basketball players was asked at his press conference was, "Is your mom still alive?"
Very curious question. I'm going to say that's a story.
Correct. That is a story. It was JaVale McGee. His mother was an Olympian as well for basketball. And the reporter said, "So I wanted to ask you, JaVale, is your mom still with us?"
Just no context.
And his response was, "That is a very strange question to ask," which is very true. So we're at 2-1 to Mike so far. Once again, we're going to do another one on the Olympics, since they are happening right now. News was released on sports that didn't make the cut for this year's Olympics. So I'm sure people know, but we got surfing and rock climbing and some other ones I'm forgetting about for this year's Olympics, all very exciting. But news was released on sports that didn't make the cut, and international cheese rolling came in at number 9. International cheese rolling is something we've talked about on this podcast before, and very excited to see it come up in a story again, so that's why I decided to add it.
Was this the top 10?
No, I think it was like 12 or 13. It was just a list of potential sports.
Yeah.
But they were, near the bottom of this list.
I'm going to say this is a story.
It is a Sudds story.
Damn it.
I made that up.
Should have known.
I even made a list of random sports in case you asked me what other sports were on the list. Thought I put in that for no reason whatsoever, but the random sports I had were lacrosse, sumo wrestling, Formula 1, cricket, and tug of war.
That's great. All right, round 5.
Right. So we're tied, did you say? Tied?
Yeah.
2-2? Yeah. All right. The next one is from the world of world records. A group in Nebraska has beaten the world record for longest game of cornhole. And I chose this story because I just like saying cornhole.
They love their cornhole in Nebraska as well.
It's true.
I got to go with that's a story. I don't even have any questions there.
That is, in fact, a story. Congratulations, well guessed. They started it. They beat the record around noon yesterday, which was 26 hours. And they were still going. They wanted to keep going as long as they could. And I checked their Facebook page this morning, and no one has posted anything since they posted that they beat the record. So I think that they probably are all just sleeping now.
That makes sense.
Anyway, moving on, we have from the video game sports world, we have a story. One of the world-ranked sports video gamers has had his contract dropped by EA after videos surfaced of him drunkenly ranting about how terrible FIFA 21 is, amongst other games. His contract was worth $500,000.
Very random if this is a Sudds story. Seems too specific. I'm going to say it's a Sudds story.
This is a Sudds story.
Yes.
It is a Sudds story. I made up the $500,000. I was totally prepared to answer questions about the world of sports video gaming. But I bullshitted that one clearly. All right. So we are now at, what is the score now, Mike?
4-2. I've taken the win.
So you've taken the win. So this is just to see whether you destroyed me or not. From the world of handball. The Norwegian men's handball team showed up to an event in only bikini bottoms to protest the fines handed out to the women's team for wearing shorts.
Why would the women's team get fined for wearing shorts?
They were
handball.
A part of the regulations are that women have to wear the bikini bottoms. Men are allowed to wear shorts. When the women were fined, there was a big uproar over it.
Oh, so sorry. The women have to wear bikini bottoms. They weren't fined because they're wearing shorts, being too revealing. They were not revealing enough.
Yeah, the reverse. Yeah, they were not showing their bums. Yeah.
And did the men get fined?
No, this just happened this morning. I added this one the end, the Norwegian men's handball team showed up to an event in only bikini bottoms.
I'm gonna say it's a Sudds story.
It is a Sudds story.
Yes, crushed it.
You did crush me in that. I will say with that one story, I didn't know the part about the women's team was actually true, and I didn't know if you would have seen that story or not. So I decided to add to it and make it false. But yes, there was a lot of uproar over the women's team wearing shorts when they're supposed to be wearing bikini bottoms, despite the fact that men are allowed to wear shorts. So anyway, hopefully that'll be fixed soon. They weren't stripped of their championship or anything, but anyway, very well done. You destroyed me. I'm glad I got a couple right. Well-deserved self-promoting fanfare, I will say.
That was a lot of fun. So I guess my record's 1-0-1 here on Story Story Sudds Story.
Yeah, 1-0-1 or 9-6.
Whatever way you want to slice it.
Yeah, whatever gives me the win in the end. We'll go with that.
Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in to round 2 of Story Story Sudds Story. Look forward to bringing you round 3 in the near future, and maybe you'll even get a live gauntlet YouTube video next.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.